Lesson 6, pricing. We will break this into 3 sections. So there's really only 3 things that you can offer: products, services, or information. So a product has a price that is typically impacted by its quality, its availability. So if it's less common or an item that everyone doesn't have and it's not cheap, because there are some items that are less common and they're still cheap and overpriced. But if it's a less common item and you don't pick it up at, let's say, Walmart or something, it may be a bit more expensive. So when I say less common, I don't necessarily mean exclusive, just more unique. An example would be, let's say, J. Crew versus Target clothing. Both are nice, but J. Crew will deliver slightly better quality at a premium cost. This will also impact your margins. So to source and sell higher quality items will cost the vendor or the store operator more and should be translated into your price. This is often assisted by good branding and market positioning. An example would be in my Future Talk book, we speak of someone who wants, a light, a fast, sporty car with sticky tires. Well, Porsche is establishing their customer avatar through their pricing. So the person who's interested in a Porsche or the attributes of a Porsche may not fit the avatar. So for that reason, they may want to consider the Mazda Miata. Okay? And what goes into this pricing that makes up these vehicles? Well, you have to consider the engineering, the material quality, and again, how unique or how exclusive is one versus the other. An example is high-end furniture delivery. It's slow, but it's high quality. However, despite the fact that it's high quality and the delivery is slow, it's still very expensive. So no one wants to pay a fortune for cheap plasticky products. You may be able to get away with it for, let's say, a hot second. That is until other people communicate or leave reviews or you get a lot of returns. It's just not sustainable, so don't do it. Services. Price is based upon your expenses, your number of workers, equipment, fuel usage, and anything else that may push your expenses up. And this may not necessarily be the customer's idea as to what your price should be. These are all things that you should take into consideration when you are building out your company, building out your idea, designing your concept, pricing your packages, configuring your bundles. Your location. For instance, if one is doing landscaping in Beverly Hills, the expectation is for it to have a different rate as opposed to, if you were landscaping in just a general outside community, right? However, what the customer will expect is that the quality will be at par with the price. So you can't charge Beverly Hills pricing and you deliver service that's, let's say, average, okay? So are you offering anything unique? Again, that's going to contribute towards your pricing too. What do you mean by unique? Is it faster? Is it executed better? Is it delivering a premium service? Is it unique in a sense of they can't just go anywhere and experience this? I really think that medieval times could get away with charging more money just because of how unique it is. But they may have their business model built around other things. So let's take a look at number 4. How well is your service executed? That's going to really impact how much a person wants to pay you. So let's get this straight. You can ask for whatever you like, but only after so much time can you continue to ask and not deliver. So you will have to make sure that you over deliver. Here's an example. I wrote this book, Future Talk. I'm a new author. I've been around for some time, but this is the first time in which I said, you know what? I think it would be neat to reduce all my ideas and thoughts to writing, package my experience in a book, save people a ton of time and capital and frustration and headaches, etc., and sell this at a price in which I'm virtually giving it away. A price that, is attractive enough so that way people actually want it or are willing to, take a peek, but priced at a point in which they actually will try to do the stuff too. Meaning in which if I price it at 99 cents, I would sell a lot of books, but then, okay, now what? I'm not getting the results in other people. And what would happen is they would just seek to get those results through me as opposed to developing that skill set within themselves. So that's the difference between a 99-cent offer, which there's nothing wrong with that because in fact, that's what I was going to do at first. But then I just had so much more to give. And my thought process was, okay, you know what? No one's even going to open the book. I mean, I don't know how many 99-cent offers and $2 offers and $3 offers and even $7 and $8 offers that I've purchased. And, I've read it, but, and I'm an action taker. But guess what? I didn't take action because I wasn't committed. Either that or I didn't feel that there was enough value there. In a lot of cases, you'll have a lot of 99-cent offers, but, it's like, well, I could have maybe made a different purchase and I'll leave it at that. So in my case, in taking that into consideration, I say, you know what? I don't want to sell a course because, I'm just not interested in that. However, what I do want to do is sell a book. Now, when I price this book, I want whomever purchases this book to at least be able to effortlessly generate from the information that I provide at least the cost of the book. And if I'm really sticking to my own guidelines, I want to over-deliver, meaning in which I want to deliver $400 or more worth of information. I mean, obviously, you can do this over and over and over and over again daily on multiple ideas and across multiple platforms. So obviously, $400 is very, 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 very small in comparison to, what you could potentially do. However, just keeping it simple and keeping it basic and keeping it small and not using some outsized guesstimate, I figured, okay, well, you know what? Deliver at least for what someone who does not do anything and they could take a glimpse at this thing would be at least $400 in value. And from there, I decided, okay, well, let's just price the book far below that and let's see what happens. So I have a few ideas that I will be sharing with you later on. So stay tuned or stay connected through TikTok. But guys, I have some pretty cool stuff coming out. And I'll leave it at that for now. So how well is your service executed? And again, we spoke of this earlier. Speed. If I can have my driveway plowed in 15 minutes, if that, and I'm going to be late to work because I'm buried beneath 3 or 4 feet of snow, it's worth me paying the plowman $55 or $60 or more. Because what's it going to cost me if I can't get out? Sure, I have a shovel, but how many hours is this going to take? Will it take all day? I save $1, but I'm really losing it because I'm not at work, okay? So if you were to rate each one of these attributes on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the greatest, the higher the scoring, the higher the pricing. Got it? So if I am delivering poor quality materials, the location bites, and I'm not offering anything unique, the service is poorly executed, and it takes forever. In fact, people call off, there's no shows, etc., etc. You can't price on a 5. And if you are over-delivering and you are executing well, you include extra stuff, you just make it delicious for your customer, well, now you're at a 5. But still, here's the catch. Don't be greedy. Leave something in there for the customer. Going back to my Future Talk example, this course, I would price it between $199 and $225, possibly $250, but let's say $199, on the low end. And then the book, let's say $40. It could go for a little bit more, but 40, maybe 50. I've seen similar books go for $60 just because of the information in it and what you can do, not just now, but in the future, and how it could be leveraged. Very simple information, but it's priceless. I took all of this into consideration when I assembled my pricing, and really I am just trying to deliver the best experience that I can for you. Information. Number 1, how comprehensive is the information? Is it reliable, consistent, credible? Is the source credible? Speed. How fast can it be made available? Can I easily access it online? Do I have to download it? Must I be at a library or somewhere stationary? 3, amount of involvement from the source. Again, will this require physical input from me, a coaching call, or in-person events and training? Number 4, can the information be leveraged to create more value? And this was what we were just talking about with books. Can it create a life transformation like losing weight or a business opportunity? Create a priceless experience like medieval times or Disney World? Can it save you time, save business expenditures, create valuable relationships? Can it be leveraged into a business? Skill, career, opportunity. Example is, if your company margins are too thin, you will struggle like Uber did for a moment. Mega company, but the quick delivery of their service, or should I say their huge expenditure, coupled with the ability to execute well and fast, still yields them a very tight profit margin. So the point I'm making is, just because you have everything else in order doesn't mean by default you will have fat profits. So you have to take a step back to the previous slide and consider all of the following when you are building out your price. Hey, some people may think that these prices are exorbitant. So now do I need to either improve or do I need to charge more? This is applicable to all. Do not base your price upon competition. Create your customer instead. Create high quality consistency so that you may price on certainty. And that usually comes at a premium. And when I say premium, I don't mean some ridiculous price that just doesn't match the service. What I mean is you are not playing the price competition game where you have 50 different people offering virtually the same thing. None of them are unique. None of them give you a superior experience. And, everyone's trying to bid each other out by like a nickel or a dime. Don't play that game. The certainty pushes prices upward, which creates a bit of exclusivity, which thus supports the higher price even more. So in other words, if you can deliver, and you can deliver well, you will be in a class of your own. Remember in the book, we spoke about luxury vehicles and we spoke about, the Mercedes, BMW, etc., etc. Well, while there are what I would call normal cars that perform very well, some of these luxury brands are awesome. They excel, especially on the higher end. Some of their lower price vehicles, there's a lot of normal cars that just do it way better. But in the area in which they really perform or shine best is on the higher end. And it shows in the craftsmanship, the engineering, the power, how smooth the vehicle rides. It's in a class of its own. You want to be there. So figure out what you can do so that you create that sort of aura around you. Not only customers, but businesses can have a persona too. And that persona is reflected back in terms of the customer avatar that you attract.